My name is Nobuzwe Mbuyisa. I work for Chevron, South Africa, and I'm the planning and pricing manager there. I chose the Women in Leadership program at the GSB because, well, first of all, GSB is not far from our offices, so it was convenient for me. And I think I was looking for something that would enhance my leadership as I was getting into in my journey in the corporate world. And also the fact that it was women, I thought there would be some value in learning with other women and building networks, because women tend to be more open to starting new relationships. I enjoyed the all-women environment, and I found it different because the learning style was definitely different. We were much more deeper, we were much more personal. If I compare that to the courses that I've been where there's been men, it tended to be more about the tools, how we do things, how we can get people to do stuff, and it was less about the individual. Whereas the Women in Leadership was very much about me, about seeing myself in a different light, and about making new choices about who I am and how I want to be in the world. The best thing for me on the program was actually finding the growth spilling over into my personal life. I was having quite a challenging time with my daughter, and going through the program allowed me to see my role in what was going on, whereas previously it had always been maybe obscure, or it was just me running away from myself. But when I was on the program, I was able to see myself for who I am and the role that I was playing in the difficult relationship that I was having with my daughter. So that was very scary for me, because it meant I needed to make some changes, but at the same time it allowed our relationship to get better. I have been able to apply what I've learned, though not everything, but when I find opportunities, I do step in with some of the learning. But the main thing that I can remember was how I ran my meetings, because I find that if you are leading a meeting, it was easier to implement. So in our meetings, we use the thinking pairs, for an example, when we've got an issue that we're grappling with. And we also use appreciation at the end, which the team obviously was skeptical at first, but they welcomed it in the end. And the other thing for me that has been a learning is that relaxation, that knowing that my opinions count and the time will come for me to say what I need to say. So in interactions, I'm more relaxed, I'm more listening now. I can hear the other person, I can see the other person. I don't feel like I need to compete with them. I feel like I need to compete with their opinion, because I trust my opinion is valid in as much as theirs is valid. And that has brought about kind of a relaxed feel to how I approach meetings to how I approach conversations, because I kind of know who I am, and I'm comfortable with that. So I don't have to put a screen around it that looks like something that it's not. We work in an oil industry which is very male dominated, and I think it's through Chevron's realization, and perhaps the industry's realization as well, that there's something that needs to be done in order to advance women. And I mean, when I presented my proposal to come on this course, I didn't meet any barriers. I had support from my supervisor, and I had support from the Human Resources Department, which was great, because it made me feel like I was in an environment that supports my growth, that supports my leadership, even though I had comments from my team about, it's a women thing, but there was that support that, we needed to strengthen the women that we have. So that was great support from Chevron. There's a few women that have had an impact in my life, a positive impact in my life, but one that's in my mind currently is a great woman that I've recently met at a storytelling session that was organized for the alumni of Women in Leadership. Mama Cindy Wemagona, she's a poet, a writer, a teacher. When I read one of her memoirs years ago, she taught me about strength, about resilience, and about not giving up. At the time when she was writing through the hardship, she was a teacher and she went on to get her PhD. She is now an accomplished writer and a storyteller, very, very strong woman.